King of Pentacles Reversed. The King of Pentacles Reversed tends to be outer directed, meaning that you tend to identify yourself by your outer accomplishments, without recognizing that who you are inside is of enormous value, regardless. General, no matter what happens in your life when the reversed King of Pentacles appears, it's important to know that your happiness and success is not built on one or even a handful of events. This is a time to consciously cultivate a positive attitude. Work. As with the upright king, the reversed king can point to an older, established man who plays a major role in your working environment, even if on the surface, it seems that you work with all women. Do the best that you can at work, but realize that your work is not your whole life, and know that some people, which may include the man represented by this reversed king, simply cannot be pleased. All you can do is your best, and that's enough. Love. The reversed King of Pentacles can indicate that someone you care about is having a hard time because of issues related to their work, or lack thereof. Help them to remember that their value goes far beyond what they do. If you are single and looking for love, you may meet someone new now who works in the financial field in some way. There may be a large disparity in your incomes. If so, be open-minded about that. Finances. The King of Pentacles Reversed tells you that it's important to think very long range when it comes to finances and financial investments. Do not identify yourself or your long-term prospects with any potential short-term downturns. Money is just a tool. Beware thinking of yourself as a failure if you are facing financial challenges. Financial challenges come to nearly everyone at some time or another. Think positively. Health. As with the upright meaning, the reversed King of Pentacles tells you that your health status can be improved if you make a point to face and to vent negative feelings. You must watch for and guard against a tendency to think of yourself as a failure just because you may not have yet met certain goals that you set for yourself. Honor yourself, just as you are, right now, today. Your health improves as a result. Spirituality. The reversed King of Pentacles says that you may have been placing too much emphasis, for too long, on your financial security. Who you are has very little to do with what you do for a living. You may benefit greatly from exploring some different spiritual traditions and understandings now. Your mind will be opened as a result, if you allow it to be. Tarot history. The history of the tarot is shrouded in mystery. Very little in the way of concrete information is known about its origin, although many things have been written about it. We will probably never know the truth, as fact and fiction seem to be irrevocably mixed nowadays. The tarot originated in northern Italy in the early 15th century, sometime between 1420 to 1440. Despite the fact that it is often attributed to originating from China, Egypt, India, or Morocco, to name just a few, there is absolutely no evidence that this is the case. Nor, as is often quoted, is there any evidence whatsoever that the tarot was brought to Europe by the Romanis. The name tarot is often attributed to being Egyptian, Hebrew, or Latin. This is not the case. The earliest names are all Italian in origin. The cards were originally called carte de triomphe. Around 1530 the word tarocchi began to be used to differentiate them from a new game of triumphs that was in vogue at the time. The etymology of this new word is unknown. The German variant was known as tarot and the French tarot. The symbolism for the tarot is drawn from the culture of medieval and Renaissance Europe. The tarot subjects are distinctive to European Christendom. The symbolism does not come from Egypt or any of the other exotic locales often mentioned. It is often stated that modern-day playing cards evolved from the tarot. This is not the case. Modern-day playing cards came to Europe courtesy of Islam. They were an adaptation of the Islamic Mamluk cards. They appeared quite suddenly in many different European cities between 1375 and 1378. These early cards had suits of cups, swords, coins, and polo sticks, and courts consisting of a king and 2 male underlings. The tarot adds the Fool, the trumps, and a set of queens to this system. Sometime before 1480, the French introduced cards with the now familiar suits of hearts, clubs, spades, and diamonds. The Joker is not original to either the early form of modern-day cards, or to the tarot, but instead originated in the USA around 1857 and was used as a wild card in poker as well as the highest trump in euchre. It is also often stated that the Catholic and Protestant churches outlawed the tarot and all who used it in an effort to stamp out so-called heretical teachings. This is not the case. The Inquisition documented what the Church considered as evidence of heresy in great detail. The tarot was not even mentioned. After the Reformation, less controversial images for the Pope and Papess were substituted by card makers as the Church had objected to the original images. It is often said that the tarot was not used as a divination tool prior to 1781. The tarot was used as early as the 16th century to compose poems describing personality characteristics. There is historical evidence that in one case at least these verses were presented as relating to the person's fate. In other words, divination. Divinatory meanings were assigned to the tarot in Bologna in the early 1700s, and this is the first unambiguous evidence of tarot divination. Ordinary playing cards were connected with divination as early as 1487. It is not unreasonable to think that the tarot was also. The tarot has often been attributed with being a pillar of Western esoterica occultism. This is certainly not the case. The first occult writers to discuss the tarot were Court de Gobelin and the Comte de Melot in 1781. The tarot was not mentioned in any occult work for the first 350 years of its existence. The terms Major Arcana, Minor Arcana, High Priestess, and Hierophant are anachronistic when referring to the older tarot decks. The historically appropriate terms are the Trumps and the Fool, the suit cards, Papess or Popess, and Pope. Likewise, Pentacles and Wands are relatively recent substitutions for the traditional suit names of coins and staves or batons. The original Italian titles of the cards were in some cases different from the later French titles that have become familiar to us through the Tarot de Marseille and its descendants. Also, the ordering of the trumps varied considerably in Italy where the cards originated. It is not known which ordering is the earliest one. Even the number of cards in the deck varied a great deal. So care should be used in making statements about the original meaning of the cards based on the familiar titles and ordering. Many believe that the Waite-Smith Tarot is the original, standard, or most authentic tarot deck in existence. This is absolutely untrue. The Waite-Smith/Rider-Waite deck was created in 1909. Not even 100 years ago, making it a relative newcomer in the almost 600-year history of the tarot. There is actually no definitive version of the tarot.